Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Calming the Chaos. I'm Patrice from Empowerment Within. I hope you guys over the last week were able to kind of take some time to check in with yourself and understand a little bit more about the chaos that's moving through your mind. It's so important for us to be able to identify how we're feeling and what's kind of coming up, even if those identifications are very vague. So today we're going to move on to allowing yourself to sit in some of the unpleasant. And a lot of people go like, that's not why I'm watching this series, Patrice. I want to know how to move through it and get rid of it. And unfortunately, we need to be able to sit in some of our unpleasant emotions in order to move on to the pleasant ones. It's so wonderful to be filled with light and joy and happiness, and oftentimes we think the unpleasant emotions kind of get in our way of that, and so we do everything that we can to avoid them. And what happens when we avoid those unpleasant emotions is they end up stacking on top of each other and kind of taking over. And if we are able to allow ourselves to sit in some of that unpleasant feeling and sit in some of that chaos, oftentimes we can find our next step towards moving through it and on from it. So, because sitting in unpleasant is not something most people are used to, I'm going to kind of walk you through a couple of ways that you can do this for yourself. So, the first is always wanting to kind of find physically where you feel some of those unpleasant feelings. And so some of this might mean that you have like a sinking in your stomach. Some of it might mean your heart is racing, your hands are sweaty, you have a headache, all of those different kind of feelings that link towards some of the unpleasant thoughts and feelings that are going through your mind. So once you're able to identify where you feel that physically, the next step that you take is kind of up to you. If you feel like, and you have some fear around, if I go into those unpleasant feelings, I'm really afraid I'm never going to come out, what I suggest people do is engage in some pendulation, which is from Peter Levine's work. And pendulation is about going back and forth between pleasant and unpleasant in order to kind of be able to expand your ability to sit in those unpleasant feelings and trust yourself that you're able to move out. So what you'll do is you can think of a happy event, a peaceful place. I like to think of this place a lot. There's woods around me, the sun's shining on me, there's a lake in the background, and sometimes it's helpful not to have other people or pets in your peaceful place, because if you're going through an argument with someone, having a hard time with pet troubles, right, your peaceful place then is going to be kind of skewed by those people. And so if you can create a place within your mind that you can feel some of that calm, I really want you to sit in that and focus on that and find where you physically feel that. Because then your next step is going to be then moving into the unpleasant. And so if, let's say, my unpleasant feeling is a sinking in my gut, and then my pleasant is this lightness in my chest, what I'll do is I'll sit with the lightness in my chest for a couple of minutes, and then I'll slowly encourage and explore that feeling in my gut and some of that sink. And I'm going to sit there as long as is tolerable for me without pushing me into a place where I'm either moving into flashbacks or feeling so sunken low that I can't get up and stuck and frozen. What's important to remember is that pendulation isn't to make this practice easy or comfortable. It's still going to be uncomfortable, but it is going to give you the opportunity to have kind of that cushion and that resource so that you know you have a way out. The longer and the more time that you can sit in that unpleasant feeling, the more you're going to understand about it. And so you really want to try to sit there in a non-judgmental space and listen to what it's telling you. I really encourage people to have a journal next to them when they do this. So any thoughts that pop up, just jot down. You might be surprised at what kind of comes up for you. And what I really encourage as well is allowing the illogical to move through and allowing yourself to feel and see the illogical. You can know that you are worthy, and you can know that you deserve X, Y, and Z. You can know that you're good enough, but if you have a hard time feeling that, that's where those thoughts are going to pop up. And for right now, all you have to do is just notice that they're there before you can do anything with them. So you're going to sit in it, You're going to journal and kind of know what is coming up around some of these physical feelings. And remember that you can set boundaries with this practice. Setting a timer is a great thing. So most people know, like, I can get through 1 minute, 2, 5, 10, whatever you feel like is enough time for you to sit with some of that unpleasant feeling without it kind of wrapping around and taking you in throughout your whole rest of your day. So set a timer and make a routine practice out of this, because you really want to get in the habit of being able to sit with some of this unpleasant. And I want you to notice, if you can do this, a couple days, 3 days in a row, if your mind feels a little bit lighter, if you feel a little bit more focused, if you can spend more time outside of this practice in some of those peaceful feelings that you have. Next week, we're going to go through our next step, which is going to be clearing some of that chaos and moving forward. But this step is crucial. You have to be able to sit in some of these unpleasant and uncomfortable feelings in order to move on to the next step of releasing and letting go. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and you let me know if you have any questions. And the next video will be posted next Friday, and we will be talking about clearing the chaos. Thank you.